welcome to ReFashioned Art. I'm here in my little ReFashioned Art studio space, and I'm gonna do a mini live demo for you today. Mini, meaning it's gonna be short and sweet. I'm doing phase 1, so this definitely won't be a finished product. This is gonna be just like that first layer. We are laying the foundation for what's to come for this next piece I'll be doing. If you watched my live yesterday, thank you so much for joining us. I was with my good friend Anicia Corona, and I'm helping her custom design her own piece of art for her own home. And again, this is a work in progress because she's in a new space. So it's, you know, the vision is kind of coming together. You know, when you're in a new space, it's like you're not quite sure exactly what you want to see where until you're really living in that space. So I hope you'll join us next week. We'll be doing phase 2. But yesterday, if you watched, again, very, surface level. We did phase 1. We laid, the foundation for this piece, and the piece will evolve for sure in the coming days. But I talked a little bit about our process and just the process of being creative and why that's so valuable, especially right now during this time when so many of us are homebound, but also just the value of creating your own art. And again, I know I've said it a million times, but I really want to encourage you guys and inspire you guys to create your own art. Just give it a try, get your hands dirty. It feels so good, and it feels so good to play. It really does. But when you have that finished piece, seeing something that you created with your own hands on a wall in your home, it feels so good. And if nothing else, it makes for a great conversation starter when you have friends and family over. So we're gonna get started. Today I am, I'll back up just a little bit. Part of why I wanna come on here and do some live demos is I know I've been asking people, what type of content can I share that's helpful or useful or valuable or at least entertaining, and a lot of people have said more live videos, live demos, and I just am so sucky at setting up a camera and all the camera technology, so I've hesitated doing that. And obviously I'm totally grubby because when I get in here I just get super dirty, so I'm grubby. I know that, and it's really, this is an art studio. It's dirty. The floor is dirty, and so it's like, oh my gosh, I look like a mad scientist when I come in here and work. I don't want anyone to see that necessarily, but I do want to be real, and I do want to be transparent with how this all comes together. And in doing so, I really do hope to inspire you to try this for yourself at home. It's not that hard, and there's nothing special about what I do. Everyone can do this. And of course, I repurpose art. All of my art is upcycled. So I really want to encourage you, check out your local Goodwill, your local thrift store, or estate sales. I know we're not out doing that right now, but maybe ask friends and family or neighbors, do you have any leftover paint or art supplies or old artwork that you don't want and you're just gonna throw out? You can take that and remake it. That's why I call it ReFashioned Art. You are reinventing something old into something totally new and beautiful and personal to your style. So today I have this piece here, this lovely lady from Goodwill. And the price tag says $6.49. I think it was probably like a discount day or something, but at the most, this cost $6.49. A lot less than you're gonna pay for a canvas if you bought it brand new, just about anywhere, I would assume. And honestly, I don't know that for sure because I haven't been buying brand new canvases for so many years now, but I imagine this is a lot cheaper than if you even bought a brand new canvas of this size. Now, the other thing, this has a little bit of weight to it. This is actually like a compressed wood board, and I really love working on that type of thing, so it's a little different than a canvas. So I guarantee you, if you purchase this brand new to start from scratch, it would be a lot more than $6.49. So leftover house paint, and again, this is phase 1. This is just the first layer. I hope to be back tomorrow to do phase 2 live to share with you so you can see that progression. Don't know if I'll make it Possibly tomorrow afternoon you'll see me. Possibly. Stay tuned. So today I'm using some leftover house paint, and in light of Earth Day, the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, I really want to encourage upcycling, repurposing. It's just such a great thing for the environment. It's sustainable, it's reducing waste, it's keeping things out of unnecessarily going into landfill, which is so important. And it reduces the use of resources altogether when you're buying things that already exist or using what you already have instead of brand new. So today I've got leftover house paint from a home renovation, also leftover house paint that the previous owner had left, which was not so cool, but he left a ton of old paint. And you'll see in a second, but our entire house pretty much, when we bought this house, inside and out was this horrible salmony pink. I actually found the color. It's called Egyptian Pyramid, which sounds cool and alluring, but it's not. It was horrible. It was horrible inside. It was horrible on the outside. So that is all gone now. But I am happy to have this paint today because I do use it as a base in a lot of the paintings that I do. So I'm gonna check. If you guys have questions, let me know. So I'm here all by myself. So hey Goodwill, thanks for joining. Yep, I got your piece. This came from you guys. Hey John, hey Warren Janke. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I am in the desert, somewhere in the desert of Arizona. So okay, so step one, what we're gonna do, remove the price tag. And you know what? I don't always remove the price tag. Sometimes I keep these little sticker tags and I use them to create texture as a base layer. It's just kind of like a fun little upcycling tip, but it is a great way if you want to create texture. You can crinkle them up and then pour paint. I mean, literally, I don't throw anything away, because everything has a use, everything has a second use, everything has a second life, and I totally believe that. So I want to be your upcycling guide. We'll just leave it at that. But for now, I am taking off the price tag. I actually do love this. I love the blues. Blue is like my favorite color. Love the blues, but I'm gonna paint over this one. Now, the other thing that I love about this, and it's one of the things that I sometimes look for when I'm scouting paintings to repurpose, and it does help me make a decision sometimes. This one is already wired, and I'll just show you on the back. It's already wired, and I really like, it was obviously professionally done. It's got a little sticker on there from the framer, and I just love this. It's already wired, it's ready to go. So I'll just put this right back on here. Okay, so what I'm going to use is that horrible Egyptian pyramid color, but again, I'm going to use it as the base. So this is it. This is my leftover paint. Who knows how many years old this is? I mean, I have no clue. Years and years. Who knows? Now, this paint is actually in pretty good condition, I will say. But a lot of times when people have leftover paint, if it wasn't properly sealed and the air gets at it, it gets like tacky and kind of dry and clumpy. Don't throw that away. Do not throw it away, because you can use it for an art project. I can use it for an art project for sure. But I like when it gets kind of like dry and thick and kind of icky, because that also can create some great texture if that's the look you're going for. You might not want texture on your canvas, but if you want texture, I love using those old, clumps in the paint. Another thing about paint, please do not throw it in the trash. Leftover paint absolutely should be recycled properly. There are, most people in their districts where they live, there are proper recycling centers where you can bring those. House paint is considered a toxic waste. You don't put that in landfill, please. But another thing about that, since we are in, it is Earth Day this week, I just want to share, recycling is great, and I hope you are recycling at the very least, but unfortunately, recycling is not exactly a solution, because there are huge huge energy costs that come with recycling. So ideally, we use less. So, you know, there's less waste to discard, but at the very least, please do not throw your paint in the trash. Okay, so first layer, I'm sure you can't see the lighting in it here is absolutely horrible. It's non-existent, but it is like this peachy color. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start like slapping this on here. And if you've been following me at all, then you know I've shared one of the things I love so much about doing art and creating art is that there are no rules. What one person says is beautiful might be different than, you know, what the next person thinks. So if you want to make it, I guarantee there's someone out there that will want it. Or maybe it's just meant for you. So again, I'm just slapping it on here, and so there's like some drips, I have some like lines I'm, you know, putting in the paint. Eventually when this dries, I'm gonna get some good texture, and on this one, I do want that texture. I wanna be able to see some of those ripples in the paint when I add those next layers. And again, this is phase one, it's layer one. It is a foundation. So, you know, you might be thinking, oh my God, that's horrible. That looks horrible. I would never buy that. Don't worry, the finished product will look nothing like this. This is just the base layer. So a lot of people use something called gesso, and you absolutely can do that too. I actually haven't purchased that, and partly because what I've been doing has been working, which is just using this leftover paint. But by all means, if you want a product, if you want to buy something, you can buy gesso to do your base layer. But I'm using my leftover paint because everything I do here is upcycled, repurposed to the best of my ability. I do buy paint, but as little as possible, So I really want to encourage you guys, I want to plant that seed in your mind that there's always a second life for everything. There's always another use. So again, I'm just kind of like slapping this on, and I know it might not look like much, but to be totally honest, a lot of the times, you know, I might come in here and I have a very specific vision, something I want to create for a certain space, and it ends up, you know, turning out totally differently. Once I get into it, it's like I change my mind. And that's okay, because again, there's no rules. You know, it's like, just what do you want to see? What do you want to create? At the end of the day, you're having fun. You're playing. Again, no rules, which I think we all need right now, especially in such an uncertain time. It just kind of makes us feel good. You know, it gets us in that playful state. Okay, so again, I'm just slapping this on. But I've got plenty of clumps here. I'm getting it all over my gloves, which is okay. These are my painting gloves. And like I said, this paint is actually in pretty good condition. Just gonna throw a little bit on there, see what happens. And again, the real fun is when I come in here tomorrow and it's dried, or hopefully somewhat dried, and it's like, oh wow, look at how that dried, you know? It's like, you just never know what you're gonna get. And if you've been following me on here at all, I've been super into like throwing paint lately. Some of the paintings I've been sharing and the paintings that are, you know, works in progress, I'm doing a lot of throwing of the paint, and I don't know, it's just feels really therapeutic. Maybe it's just a really good stress reliever for me. It's a great way to get out like pent out energy. Highly recommend you try this at home. But again, you know, I would never do this actually in my house unless I had everything sealed off with plastic, because I would never want to get, you know, I would never want to make a mess in my home with paint. So I'm very lucky. I feel very, very fortunate to have this tiny little space, as small as it is. I feel very lucky to have this space to come in here and create. So yeah, here we go. Look at that. I mean, look at that. And there's a little heart in there. How cool. So yeah, again, I'm just literally slapping paint on there. And if you want to see what I'm using, this is a paintbrush that my husband bought for himself, probably close to 20 years ago. I will say 18 years. And so, we've just had it, but it is totally like crusted over from, he used to use a lot of oil paint when he used to paint, just like for fun. And, but it's the perfect tool to do just this. So I'm glad I never threw this one away because I use it a lot. So here you go, guys. This is it. We've got this great Egyptian pyramid color. Good news, I've managed not to spill an ounce of paint on myself, even though these are my painting clothes. It's really nice to go in the house without a drop of paint on me. So I feel good about that. So just for fun, just to show you something that sometimes I might do, I'm gonna put a little bit of, let me see, I'm gonna add another little color. But again, like I said, there will be more paint layers going over this, so don't worry, this is not gonna look quite anything like this. So taking off a glove, something I also wanna show. These little testers, these were also from our home renovation, and I'm glad I kept them. So most of them were some variation of white, and I do use a lot of white. I love white, but what I actually, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. What I actually use these for is my little paint mixers. So I use these to mix my own custom colors, and I just buy little acrylic tubes, and I'll just mix. So, like I said, I love blue. Another super old paintbrush. It's all dry and crusty. And this was just one of those little tester paintbrushes. And you know what? I'm gonna check to see if there's any questions or comments. So guys, if you have, hey Jessie, Art Catherine EH, hi. Hi guys. Hey Michael Colavito Art. Hey Gina, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Hi John. So guys, if you have questions or, anything you'd like to say, please use that little question mark button at the bottom of the screen so it will pop up. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous blue. So I'm just gonna, again, I'm just kind of throwing some paint on here. And more than anything, this is just for the purpose of demonstration. I have no intention of this looking or coming out like anything specific at all, just so you know. I'm just gonna throw some on there. Interestingly enough, it's kind of pulling with the blues that are on the original painting, kind of cool. Not sure if you can see that with the lighting on video, on camera, but this is just kind of again, playing. I'll be going over most of this, but you can see, if nothing else, how awesome this color blue is. Hopefully you can see it. Again, I'm not sure how the lighting is coming through, but it's just really fun. And again, this is more texture than anything. I'm just gonna clean up the bottom a little bit here because there are some drips. Didn't really want that. But again, we've got the blue, and I love this color blue. Again, this is something I custom mixed with, this was a white paint, and I mixed it with these little acrylic tubes here, acrylic paint, and I mixed true blue with ultramarine blue. I love that ultramarine blue. This brand is called Folk Art Matte Finish Acrylic Paint. I'm not even sure what this is originally meant for, but it works great. I've been using it on a number of things. So yeah, so we've got our blues. I love this. I will definitely be mixing more of this color. Kind of playing there. Another thing I've gotten kind of OCD about is not wasting any paint. So if I have paint on my paintbrush and I think I'm done, then I'm not. because I will do, you know, finishing touches just to use every bit of paint on that paintbrush. That's kind of cool. And again, I don't know how much you guys can even see on there, but I'm just kind of like using up the rest of this paint. One last thing I'm going to show you before we close out. These are also little tubes of acrylic paint. I bought them, I don't even know how many years ago it was. I don't know if you can see this. They are a mess, but I've been remixing paint as well in these. So these are another thing. I don't throw these out. I hold on to them, and I just add a little water, and then I add whatever paints I want to mix. And again, it's a great little vial to custom mix your own paint. So there's really not much left in here, I can tell, but I really like just kind of like squirting things out. And sometimes you get some really cool things. Like over here, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's giving me like a speckling effect. And yeah, it's kind of cool. So again, slowly but surely, these extra paint that I'm adding is covering over, I mean, eventually it will cover over that purple salmon pink color that I really don't want to show through anyway. So again, I'm just kind of like squirting, and this one is almost out, so I'm due to remake in this little vial, and that's about it. This one is just about done. So I will be adding some more color. They will be blues, I can guarantee you that. I'll be adding more color to this vial. I'll be adding a little bit more water. So I am going to leave it at that for now. Voila. What do you think? Let me know. Yeah, so that's phase one. Hope to be back tomorrow afternoon with a next layer. I'm not sure if I will have time, but I'm gonna hope to get in here and maybe just add like a few little touches. So you could see, but I'm just gonna check one more time to see if there's any questions. Oh, hey, Louisa. Lucy, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Acrylic. Okay, so guys, hey, thanks for joining. So yeah, guys, someone asked about the paint. This is all house paint. That's that peach. That's leftover house paint that I started with. That was at the beginning. And then everything else I put on here was, it was a custom color I mixed, but the lighter blue was a leftover house paint. It was white, and I mixed some acrylic paint into that. And then this darker blue was acrylic as well. It was something I custom mixed, but it was acrylic paint. I added some water to in that little vial, and then I just squirted it on there. So again, I'm gonna let this dry overnight. Who knows if it will be dry enough tomorrow for a next layer, but we'll come in and check on it, and I do hope to have a chance to come in here tomorrow afternoon and show you the next phase. But I will be back to show you the continuation, I promise. And next week, I will be back with my friend Anicia. We're gonna be doing phase 2 of her custom artwork that we started yesterday on IG Live yesterday. I will also be putting that up on my IGTV eventually. That the live from yesterday, it was about 50 minutes. That did go on my YouTube. So if you want to check out my YouTube, I have some art stuff. I also have a lot of my fashion stuff on there, my fashion videos. So if you want to check out the YouTube, yesterday's IG Live is on the YouTube, and just search Laura Madden and you will find it. So thanks guys. This is the phase 1 is complete. And yeah, if you have questions, let me know, DM me. If you have any other suggestions for content you'd like to see, DM me. But again, this is kind of an easy one because I'm just totally painting right over. But I'm having fun, I'm loving it. So again, I really encourage you to, just collect things that you already have. If there's a piece of artwork in your home that you really don't like, redo it. Redo it to your style, to your liking. And it just feels so good to surround yourself with things that are beautiful to you. So I hope you'll try it. Again, still celebrating Earth Day over here. Happy Earth Day wherever you are. Send me your questions or your topic suggestions, and I will hopefully see you here tomorrow.